The deck is stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Sacrifice. Oh, I paid the dearest price. And no shortcuts here for destiny. I'll take the long way proud. Oh, I know what I've earned, and now it's my turn. Lighting the fuse, let it burn. My time is rising, and you can't bring me down. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie him to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Turn my sights on where I'm going. I ain't turning back around. Can't stop me. You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, with tonight is Techy Joe. But before we begin, I want to give a little thing. You may want to put headphones in if you've got little children around tonight, because tonight's show is going to be
Apparently, our opening theme sounds weird with Food Wars Season 3 closing song. We'll have to find out about that.
Yes.
But hey, Brenda. Hey, Shannon.
Hi, Brenda. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Amy. Oh, guys.
Yes.
Started out today going to be a decent show. Our guest is canceled. She can't make it. She had a death in the family. She'll join with us later. I'm cool with that.
Then we hate that for her.
We hate that for her. We are, however, not upset with her.
Yeah, no. Oh, hey, Marvin. Oh, and apparently it synced up really weird. So, okay. So today was just like trucking right along, and then, we had the guest cancel due to unforeseen circumstances.
Right.
A death in the family, which is always horrible and sucks. And so, but we're still good. We're like, yeah, we'll do a show.
Yeah.
That's cool. We do that.
Yeah. Then I log in and start looking around because, I like to have interesting things to talk about. And I check the Professional Terrorist Association, and I see a lovely letter posted there, and I'm like, damn, this is getting a lot of comments. Is this a new deck? We're Terror Association. We don't talk about a lot of shit.
Well, I mean, it's tarot decks. I mean, yeah, occasionally someone puts out a new fluffy bunny or a pretty kitty deck.
Right.
And y'all all like melt. But otherwise, like tarot,
it's not a hot topic segment. It really isn't.
Not normally. There's not a lot of like earth-shattering news in the tarot world.
Right.
Like, I mean, there isn't usually.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and send over the text to the post instead of just a screenshot. You go ahead and read the text.
Alrighty. So let me get to that real quick. And there we go. All right. So, hello. I'm reaching out to you about a situation that happened to me last week. I was in a shop, the Divine Medium in Johnstown, PA, and bought Barbara Moore's Wizard Tarot deck. When I got home, I found that the deck was unsealed and the devil card was missing. I contacted the owner via text message, and she replied that she has her associates remove all devil cards from all tarot decks. Quote, because you are not dealing with higher communication authority or any representative from source when the devil intent is involved in the deck. Quote, it was this then stated that everyone knows she does this, which there was no sign or disclosure posted in the store about this procedure. She told me that I could return the deck for store credit. I felt it necessary to reach out to you as well as others that have published tarot decks. She has contacted Llewellyn. She does not live near the shop, so an exchange is a physical and monetary hardship.
Mhm.
If a deck you created is sold there, you might want to contact your publisher.
Right.
Yeah.
Our publishers, making them aware of this, they did not get us back for a comment. And granted, I only rush out like at 11 in the morning. These guys are very, very busy. So I'm not going to give it down for Debray. Actually, I want to talk about a deck that I'm playing with. You guys will see a review of this month. However, when digging into this shop, because you know me, I've worked in shops. I've worked with shops. Mo would blow a gasket, I am quite sure. I didn't reach out for comment because I know it's Tuesday. Mo's busy on Tuesdays.
I don't know that, like, one, I don't know any shop that would pull that we've ever dealt with.
Right.
I mean, like, you can say whatever you want to about any of the people that you have dealt with over many years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a one of them would do this.
Right.
Not without at least a sign, not without letting people know, hey,
yeah,
I'm putting my own little brand of crazy on it.
Yeah.
You know, love and light, fuzzy bunnies. But I mean, and that's literally anyone you have ever dealt with, no matter what feelings you have towards them. They have no. Like if a deck gets opened, it's a used deck.
Exactly. She's selling this deck as brand new, straight from Llewellyn, Red Wheel, wherever she's ordered them from, US Games. No. So then the store owner doubles down.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll have to read that screenshot because, of course, it's no longer on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sure that's a fun one. Okay, where is that one coming in at?
That is is in your Facebook Messenger. It is that long, skinny post.
Okay, let me look for the long, skinny post. Is that? Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Okay, let me start working towards that one. Oh my, that's a lot of posts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's 4 of them.
No, I want you to read the first long, skinny one, and then her rebuttal, because she doesn't talk about herself. She didn't do this herself. Her staff did it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, but like she had them do it.
Of course.
All right. Okay. Let me just download that now. That way I can get it in an app where I can kind of zoom in here because Daddy's getting old. So the moon ear.
Yeah.
All right. These Google reviews were just placed on the Moon's business right before the shop received a disturbing call from a person who said she was a friend of someone who came into the shop and bought a tarot deck. We know who this customer is because she is the only one who's ever complained about a deck bought from Moon's shop. The customer's friend was calling to confirm some information that the customer told her about Moon's tarot decks. She wanted to know if it was true that Moon removes all devil cards from the shop decks. Yvonne explained yes and why. The person on the phone then proceeded to tell Yvonne to advise Moon on how she should run her shop. The original customer who bought the deck had inboxed the team over the weekend and said she was a reader and didn't agree with Moon's decision on taking the devil out. And all of a sudden, we received this phone call today from one of her friends who is saying the same thing. The woman on the phone told Yvonne she's been a reader for 45 years and Moon needs to leave the decks alone. When Yvonne explained that it's Moon's shop and that her guides will decide what goes on with the shop, the person on the phone became even more angered. After the phone call, 2 more negative Google reviews came in because the woman on the phone told her friends to place negative reviews on Moon's business. None of them have ever stepped foot inside Moon's shop, nor bought any items personally from Moon. This is an all-out attack because they don't agree with her spiritual methods. Once again, all who know Moon and those who shop at the store understand fully why Moon removes the devil energy intent from the decks. And we will explain it here once again for you all. If you have a devil intention in a deck, no higher form of light and love communication will provide clear answers that are needed to be heard. The communication will lack in its processing procedures to be understood. No higher form of light and love communication will work with a devil intention energy placed on the deck because it places it in a lower frequency of understanding. Hence why you won't get a full clarity message from your guides. She also complained that Moon unseals the decks but never asked why she did that. Just complained and again told Moon how she should run her own shop. We as her team felt the strong need to showcase this negativity towards Moon because this is what the world is coming to and why it's so very important to know the reader you are replacing in your life. These individuals claim to be readers of light, but light doesn't act in these ways to the point of harassing another person of light, especially when all readers follow their own spirit team communication. That is and should be universally understood. Moon does not and never would tell another reader what to do with their communication. She will advise if asked, or she will plainly teach on these matters, and what resonates with you is accepted and what doesn't. It is okay to not see eye to eye on topics with those around us, but to go to that extent and harass Moon because of how she runs her shop and becomes so angered by it is not only coming from evil intent, it also shows an egotistical standpoint of attack that you know better than others in the world. No one in this world has the right to degrade someone and harass someone because they disagree with how they run their own facility. If you don't like it, simply walk away, part ways, and continue on your earthly path. Moon has had issues in the past where a customer would buy a deck and shortly after return it because they either didn't like the deck or it didn't resonate with them properly. And so Moon would have them pick another deck out. After this happened so many times within a year, Moon decided to unseal all decks in the shop so customers could open them, experience their energy, and decide if they connected to them in a way that will benefit their highest good. This helped them to take the time and make the right decision for themselves so they didn't have to take them home, become disappointed and upset because they had to return them. Instead, now they can now be excited to use this deck they chose because they experienced them beforehand. This is the experience Moon wants them to walk away feeling, not go home and become disappointed and upset. That is why she does what she does. And it makes perfect sense to us, her team, why these kinds of people get upset. If you've used tarot decks for years, like the caller claimed, with the devil intent left in the deck, these are the actions and outcomes that come from their low vibrational understanding, which just proves Moon's point even more why everyone should understand what your tarot deck is representing in your life and the lives you're touching by using them in that way.
Hey, Joe, what happens when a deck comes out of a tarot deck?
I'm sorry, that was a long post. What now?
What happens when a deck is removed from a tarot deck, or I found out my deck has less than 78 cards?
Oh, that's typically a deck that gets trashed or
Yeah.
turned into business cards.
Exactly. By the way, yes, I read with the devil. This is bullshit, but she's already a scam artist.
Well, I think we
No,
gotta
I'm
back
calling her
up.
a fucking scam artist. She's already had one other business complaint.
All right.
$2,000 for a private weekend with Moon. Go to that one. I just sent it to you in Messenger.
Oh, okay.
Never had a complaint. Bullshit, lady.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so the Better Business Bureau?
Yes.
All righty. I bought the service of a personal transformation package. She told her followers on her Facebook live feeds that included with the package would be help with meditation. She would stay at the same bed and breakfast for the weekend so her and the client could hang out and have fun and play games. And it was advertised as a whole weekend event with her and the client. I received about 4 to 5 hours on the first day there.
4 to 5 hours.
Pardon?
4 to 5 hours.
Yes, 4 to 5 hours on the first day there. And then the last day, she said her guides told her that she can't help me with meditation and that I need to basically figure it out for myself. I was able to ask any question. I was able to ask any questions that day, and I received a foot soak. I may have spent another 2 to 3 hours with her that day as well. It was way watered down as to what the package was supposed to be, and it's such a big disappointment. She would go on and on about all the cool and fun stuff that her and the clients would be doing. It cost nearly $2,000, and while it was my decision to purchase something of that cost, the described benefits were null. When I still had some bad feelings about the transaction, I decided to put it aside and sign up for her Soul Goddess classes. Again, my choice, but she hasn't finished out the last class, March. And when I asked her if we were going to get a chance to finish it out, she never approved the question to add it to the Facebook group page, and she never personally responded either. That was another over $200 purchase that I never received that was offered. There are many other people in that class that have asked her about the class, and her response has been to just block them. As far as the class I took in February, she offers cauldrons, which are packages of items that go along with the course. She has crafting days with these items where you all, as a class, use what she sends you to make things. It took until sometime in March until I received the correct missing items from my cauldron. I was unable to participate and follow along in that class because of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now listen to the words. There's supposed to be Moon replying.
Oh, sweet Mary Mother, we're going to read this.
Yes, you're going to read that.
Oh, hell.
Or I'll read it.
No, I just need a breath. Like,
Okay.
my God. Let me actually get it on a screen where I can read all of it at the same time. Because it broke the page. Like their website broke by her response. So yeah, like part of it was missing. All right. There we go. I would like to address these accusations from Miss. What frustrates me the most is that we have several avenues of communication that she could have contacted us through. We have a shop number that was never called or left a message on our voicemail. We have an email that was never used. We have several Facebook pages with Facebook Messenger attached that was never used. We also have Instagram Messenger that was never used as well. She has made no attempt to contact us or me in order to discuss her complaints with. We would have gladly worked with her unhappy demeanor and tried to fix the issues. I would like to break apart her letter in words so that you can better understand how my business works and where I am coming from on this matter. I am not a doctor, nor a lawyer, nor a nurse. I have a very different job in this world. I work with energy, and what I teach or show another student or client must take some work on their part to accomplish these goals they set for themselves. I am more of a spiritual coach. I show them things about themselves, but it will take some spiritual work on their part. These are not easy, quick fixes. People nowadays don't want to work hard. They want easy solutions. I find this more and more every day. They expect you to do all the work for them, but that is not how we grow and learn as souls. I cannot learn what Mrs. needs to learn for herself, and meditation is part of this. I can only show them how to meditate, but I cannot perform the act nor acquire results for them. Again, this goes back to energy work. They must work on themselves.
Bullshit.
Also, pardon?
Oh, I'm just commentating, giving you a break here. Bullshit. She
Yeah.
promised a weekend with Moon, the divine medium.
Yes. Also, every single transformation is different, and the progress we do within that transformation is based off the person I am dealing with in that transformation. The reason I did not spend the night at the bed and breakfast with Mrs. is because of several reasons. One, I cannot sleep there. Being a person of spiritual means I get bothered by spirit whilst there, since it is my great 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 grandfather who built it, and in turn, it is my own family trying to communicate with me, and this keeps me from resting or even sleeping. So I am up all night. I need to be fresh and ready to go the next day to finish out the transformation session with my client. This was explained to her. I had also just gotten out of the hospital from a horrific car accident, and the beds at the bed and breakfast aren't up to par for my back injury at that time. Again, making me miserable for the next day's session, which again was explained to her. The hours we spent with Mrs. were sufficient for the transformation she allowed me to do. I do not charge by the hour, but rather by the experience of what they are to learn and what we are to cover. Since Mrs. does not communicate well or speak up when needed, I was simply going off her behavior, which was pleasant and seemed to be contented. I had even asked my assistant, Yvonne, yesterday, who was present during the transformation, about Mrs. demeanor at that time, and Yvonne agreed with me that she seemed happy with her results and that we had covered and what we had covered in that session. On social media, I did a live show about this new transformation, and I say this again, new session of transformation we were trying out. As I started these sessions, we saw that every person was different, and every day would be catered to that uniqueness of individuality. So yes, this new path we were taking within the business was very fun and exciting. And every session we had thus far since we launched that new session was exciting, but also very enlightening. Not all spiritual work is going to be fun, and with every client comes different challenges within their lives that need to be addressed no matter what. I am here to give facts and truth, even if the client doesn't want to hear it. I am not doing my job if I don't provide all the facts that I am shown and in turn needed to be presented in order for the client to really take this transformation seriously. If Mrs. was not happy with her session, she should have spoken up, and we could have used that time to go over things in more depth or could have adjusted the session to her needs and wants. She never spoke up, and I am now, after almost 2 years, are hearing about her disappointment. Now, knowing she was unhappy and never contacted us within those almost 2 years about her unhappy disposition, she continued to take more spiritual learning classes. I need to point out that we have never had any complaints about the transformational package from any client that has ever took it, and we've never had any complaints from any student about the Soul Goddess course. We were just finishing up the March part
Do
of
you
the
not
Soul
get any
Goddess.
complaints, woman? Like,
No,
do you
never.
not? Apparently you don't, and you advertise Reiki, sell gift certificates for Reiki, but apparently haven't done a Reiki session in over 2.5 years. Yeah. Amy,
Yeah.
she's going to bring up something in a minute. You were a student of mine during the panini. I'd love you to share your experience. Go for it.
Okay, so now, okay, so sorry, getting back, I gotta go back. Now, knowing she was unhappy and never contacted us within these almost 2 years about her unhappy disposition, she continued to take more spiritual learning classes. I need to point out that we have never had any complaints about the transformational package from any client that has ever took it, and we've never had any complaints from any student about the Soul Goddess course. We were just finishing up the March part of the Soul Goddess course when the COVID hit us. Her words, the COVID hit us, and we were forced out of our business here in Pennsylvania. We are still not in the green until this upcoming Friday. I can now resume and finish March's course and be done with that month's learning information. All live shows that consisted of the Soul Goddess can only be done here at the shop since all the crafting materials are here at the shop. Mrs. mentioned that she had never left a pre-approved post on the Soul Goddess course Facebook page. However, we do not get notifications from Facebook for that page, and so it is only when I actually go into that page that I see any post waiting to be approved. I saw her post only yesterday, and I have not approved it because we received this letter in the same day. So I'm addressing it now. I have also reached out to several other students who have expressed patience and kindness due to the circumstances and understand why we've had to wait for the March course to be finished up. Due to COVID, which I had gotten in late November of last year, left me still recovering, but also I was going through some other emotional and physical health issues personally during quarantine and made my students aware of this through post on the Soul Goddess course, and that we would get back to finishing up the last live class together very soon, or as soon as I was well enough to begin. Everyone was very understanding with no complaints. Again, leaving Mrs. an opportunity to speak up if she was unhappy, which she didn't. I'm not a doctor or lawyer or nurse where I can just make my spiritual work on point right at a specific time. Anyone who follows me or takes my classes or sessions knows this. If I am feeling unwell, I will not waste someone's money on a half ass job doing my job. I take pride in what I do, and I will not disrespect my clients or students by doing a willy-nilly job just because someone is in a hurry. Mrs. has also stated that her cauldron items were late in February. This was due to the high demand of students wanting to get into the course, and we only had limited amount of items which then had to be reordered. And since I want everyone to be able to participate in the classes fully, we decided to reorder the items needed so that everyone could participate and not get a refund and not be able to participate in the course fully. I have stated before that we only had a limited amount of items and that a reorder was to be made so that everyone could participate. This again was done through the Soul Goddess Facebook page post. If Mrs. was unhappy with this, she again could have used the several avenues of communication to express this and ask for a full refund at that time, which would have been accommodated. But now she has those items and has access to all the online course material and videos and teaches for months now. We state on the website that there is no refunds on any session or courses due to it all being through online and unretrievable. Just like a doctor does his job, I do mine and deserve to be compensated for that time with my students and clients. They can't just suddenly, months to years later, say they are unhappy and not use the opportunity to contact us to resolve the issue right then and there. That is unfair to me as the small business owner. I would have liked the respect from Mrs. contacting me and discussing the matter and allowing me and my team to fix the issues like we always have with any other client before her. She can also get into the course at any time. These are always available through the website and the Soul Goddess Facebook page. Oh, sweet Jesus. These live shows are recorded, and she could have done the crafting at any time. The course is made to be at your own pace. I have students who have taken the November classes up until March and are still working through November's classes because there is so much to learn that they are taking their time learning it. So Mrs. is not locked out of doing this course over and over and over again until forever. Mrs. has also stated that I've responded to students by just block them. That is not how we do things, and that is false. We've had to block a few students due to legality issues. One student had stolen a prototype blueprint of an invention I had come up with back in 2014. She refused to stop her actions of selling my prototype on social media outlets, and my attorney had gotten involved and said to block her and her partner, who was also in the course, with her causing issues amongst the other students on this matter. So we had recently blocked both of those students back in the beginning of March. That is what Mrs. is referring to. However, Mrs. nor does any of the other students truly know this is the reason why, because I am not one to simply bash or out someone on social media.
Too late.
Apparently, the Better Business Bureau, however, I forgot the issue and led it to my attorney to handle. So Mrs. does not know what she is speaking of and simply going off the words of an upset student who knows she did wrong by me and wanted back in the class, and I refuse to due to her action she has taken against me. So now that I've explained all that Mrs. has accused me of, I hope to hear back from you soon. Well, as soon as this quarantine will allow you. I know many are still stuck in their homes, and I hope you're staying safe and well. I just didn't want this to go on past the 10 days I was allowed to respond, and no one was contacting me back, so I began to worry that you would think we are ignoring this letter, which, as you can see, we surely are not. I do not know where we go from here, Mrs. Let me know what we need to do on our end, and we will do it. Also,
Let's start with
please,
refunding the $2,500.
22 at least. Also, please let me know if I need to contact my attorney on this matter as well. I do not know how these things go because I have never been accused of such negative words. So I am unsure how to move forward from this. At this time, thank you for your patience in reading my words. I look forward to speaking with you soon.
All right. So I have one of my students in the chat here. Amy, you were in here. How quickly did we switch when we had to go to lockdown? Within days. March 22nd, we shut down classes, pulled everything around, and we flipped quickly. 1, 2. She paid $500 an hour to learn meditation. That's a class I do for free when I do present it. It's kind of like my shotgun tarot class.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I mean, well, it's typically part of a class. I mean, I could understand if you like wanted to have a class with like more advanced meditation, like guided meditation, like, and I could understand that may not work for some people. Like you're always big on the thing of like, you meditate to AC/DC, not, and the flowing brook beside the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned to meditate to Black Sabbath's War of Pigs. I'm calling War of Pigs on this bullshit. This is what makes the psychic industry look like shit, is practitioners like this. 1, destroying a product and selling it as new. No tarot reader on this planet worth their shit will read with a deck with a card missing with it. So you're selling a worthless product at full price.
And moreover, like a simple sign. Like she didn't dispute that there's no sign, there's no warning, just everyone knows what she does. Obviously not. Obviously, people who don't go to that shop regularly walk in and don't know this. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Like, what the hell?
This was Amy's comment on the screen for those that are listening. Yes, very quickly. We switched gears very quickly. I learned Zoom. Hell, I've learned how to use the whiteboard and all types of shit in there now. We put together slideshows and every fucking thing else. And she's saying, oh, everything we do at the shop is at the shop. Guess what? My office was in St. Albans. Took me no time to rotate here. Took me a year and a half to get my stuff back.
And the classes we were teaching, you were teaching out of Morgantown, and
like out of Morgantown.
Well, yeah, and like the only ones we shut down were like the ones in Marietta.
Right.
Like that was the only class, or well, no, because that one was finished.
No, I carried on with a year and a day. My other classes went up. The ones that had booked, we went virtual.
Yeah.
Because we were doing the astrology class in Morgantown. We were doing Wicca Year and a Day in Morgantown. Those are classes I'm used to teaching in person. We quickly swung that around. I have never done a weekend with Aeson, but I'll guarantee you, if it's $2,000 plus the price of the bed and breakfast, someone come over and slap me. Brenda, you've got a nice hand. You can come do it. All right, first of all. Second of all, this is bullshit. She spent 8 hours with this lady for $2,000. At max 9.
Well, yeah, at max 9 hours. But moreover, I mean, hell, your classes are 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
We will freely admit there ain't never been a damn one of them that was 2,000.
No.
Like,
not at all. Because that's not how this works.
No.
Okay, that's not how this works. This is the spiritual community. It sounds to me like this one's a scam artist and trying to tell people how to practice. Bullshit.
Well, but here's my thing. She's inventing, it literally reads like she's inventing excuses as she's writing.
Right.
And it's like, but here's the problem with that. That's fine. You want to open those decks so that people can experience them.
Mm-hmm.
That's your shop. You do whatever the hell you want. I don't care about that. No one cares about that. Like, that's your choice. That's your choice. Like, you want to leave them unsealed. You want to unseal them and sell them that way. That's your shitty business practice, and no one's mad about that. Okay? What people are mad about is that you removed a card. That's not a business practice. That's theft. You are charging someone for a box that I will guarantee you says it has 78 cards. It does not have 78 cards anymore. That's theft. You are removing a component of the thing you're selling. That's where people have the problem. That's not a business practice. That's theft. You're stealing from your customer part of the product they're buying.
Yeah, and then destroying it, property that is your clients.
Yeah. I mean, again, you want to open the deck. I think it's a shitty business choice, but you do you, boo.
Mm-hmm.
You do you. And yeah, you're right. Someone else goes somewhere else. And when you see that open deck, that unsealed deck, that's your first clue. That's a shitty business practice. And again, I'm not opposed to opening a deck. I could understand it. I don't think it's a good life choice, but hey, I don't do tarot. I have a tarot deck, but you get my point. But that's a business
choice. She made that very clear in her posting what she does with them. She takes them to a sacred space and burns them. Because she doesn't want the evil intent. Now, we know a shop owner, and I'm not going to call her out. She doesn't carry Palo Santo because she has a social justice idea about Palo Santo.
Hey, that's fine. That's a business choice.
Great. That's a wonderful business practice. She doesn't talk down to the ones that do it. She just doesn't carry it.
And that's fine. That's fine. No one's mad about that. That's just a choice you make. But she doesn't turn around and sell you Palo Santo, and maybe real Palo Santo, But then instead of, half a gram or whatever the hell you measure the shit in, sell you 0.49 grams and tell you it's half a gram.
Right. But also, here's
Because
the thing.
that's
You can
that.
take pine wood in this damn state and chop it up and sell it as Palo Santo. And yeah, Five Below Palo Santo, it's actually pine wood, cedar. Know the smell quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's my whole thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to a gas station, it is literally a crime and gas stations have been busted for it, to misrepresent the measuring of gasoline. If you buy a gallon of gas, it damn sure better be 1 gallon.
Right.
Not 0.99, not 0.98, not 0.97. 1 actual gallon of gas.
Yes. So, this is my advice to all her little followers and all the people that have been scammed by her. 1, file a Beller business claim. 2, don't shop there again. Don't take another class from her. 3, look for real psychics and mediums. I have appointments open, but I'm not saying just come to me. Go to someone you trust. Go to someone that will actually do their damn job. This is why I want a psychic guild in this country. This is why I want psychic regulation in this country. This is why I want a professionalism.
Yeah.
This is not it.
Well, and Tracy, watering down the whiskey in the bar. My first thought was like ice melting water down. Never mind, got it now. But yeah, if you're adding water to the whiskey and you think you're getting a shot of whiskey and you're not getting a shot of whiskey because it's part water, yeah, same difference. Yeah. Same theory. And granted, there are businesses that do this all the time for things you don't notice, like adding a little water to the whiskey. I know this.
Basil to your incense, whatever.
And I wouldn't even have a problem as a business practice if she wants to sage those decks and remove all evil intent from them because she has this issue. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's a choice, but still. Oh, yeah. Brenda says, I've taken multiple classes from you. I wouldn't have taken the second from you if you had acted like her. Hell, I don't think Brenda would have made it through the first one without punching him.
Exactly. This is holier than bullshit. She's running a metaphysical shop, practicing Christianity, trying to sell paganism crap because it makes money, people.
Oh, yeah, and Ashley points out, sizing down the jeans to make you pay more for plus sizes. Hell yes.
Okay. This is the crap that needs to be stopped. And the only way for it to be stopped is for the money to stop flowing. Or the state police to get involved. Luckily, with the scam artist that me and Dottie brought to you in an episode, has been closed down. She was arrested for fraud. Pennsylvania, get on your shit. You got a stupid attorney general up there, but at least do your fucking job.
Well, and again, she's allowed to make choices for her business. She's allowed to have business practices. No one's arguing this. Again, no one's arguing you're allowed to have different business practices and policies and procedures, okay? The problem is there are certain business practices and procedures you don't get choices in. False representation is not a business practice you get a choice in. Stealing or misrepresenting the product you sell in terms of its content is not a business process or procedure you get a choice in. How is she struggling with this is what I don't get.
Well, what she's struggling with is people are paying list prices. It's like people have told me if I wanted more students to raise my prices, I say bullshit. Learning is free. It covers our expenses.
Well, if she's that against the devil card, she needs to quit selling decks. Brenda, honestly, there's enough Oracle decks. And surely to God, someone's had to put out a Fluffy Bunny Love and Light deck by now that's no negatives ever. Like you're just gonna find gumdrops and rainbows shooting out your ass at every fucking moment.
Right.
Isn't there that deck yet? Like she can carry that.
Right. Now, Debray, they ain't playing games with this. I'm quite sure that now they've been alerted. I hope Llewellyn jerks their contract. I hope
Oh
US
yeah.
Games goes against her for destroying their product.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, moreover, it's one of those things of, and you didn't think to put up a sign.
Yep.
Like, why wouldn't you put up a sign? Like, that's the thing that really gets me is why wouldn't you put up a sign? Like, not on your Facebook. Fuck your Facebook. No one reads that before going to your store. Nor
Right.
should anyone have to. I should not have to go to a website to find out that I'm going to get 0.975 gallons of gas for every gallon I buy. I shouldn't have to go to a Facebook before I go to 7-Eleven. Okay? Like, no one expects that of me.
Mm-hmm.
And dig through their site to find this little magical tidbit.
Right.
It's a fucking sign.
Mm-hmm.
At least warn people what they're buying. One,
Right.
like that's A1. Like if you're gonna do something stupid. Oh, Brenda, I love it. I guess your spirit guide is supposed to tell you, Joe. Love it.
Well, she's selling a deck that hasn't been produced in over 20 years. You tell me how the Fairy Oracle card deck that came out with that is published by Hay House because it's Duarn Virtue and Raphael Valentine, illustrated by Howard Hurd. She's selling it for $24.99. This is one of the. Remember, I told you I have decks put up. This is one of them.
Okay, then most likely she's not selling real decks to start with.
Exactly.
Because, as in, well, and I say that gingerly. Either she has a backstock of all backstock and she has ruined it by destroying the devil card in them and like bad, dumb. Or she's getting reproduction decks that are not made by the original distributor.
Yeah.
And selling those.
Yeah, because the Randolph Valentine went in and redone the deck himself. Okay. When Doreen went Cristo, like severely Cristo, he went in, done the deck himself, quickly redone the deck because he thought the work in it was good and he had done most of the work, and replaced the deck. This deck is a fake deck.
I mean, again, one, it's not a good business practice, but two, like, and it's not really a business practice. It's a misrepresentation of what your product is. But no sign, and
yeah, it's a fake deck. It's a fake fucking deck.
Well, either, I don't want to say either way. Like, either she's got a great backstock and a horrible life choice made,
right,
to try to alter the deck before she sells it. Which, I mean, you could have been sitting on a mint there, girl, if those are original.
No.
Original run from the distributor. That would be a very valuable product, and you could get a lot more than $24.99 out of it. I'll just tell you right now.
Exactly. But no, that's a fake deck.
Yeah. Well, what we call a fake deck, which is a deck that has been, it's a counterfeit deck, is technically what it is. It's a deck that the imaging of an original deck has been reproduced on lower quality cardstock, usually at a different size.
Right.
And it's usually pretty obvious because you start like handling it and it's
yeah, it turns to crap.
It's all wrong. Oh, Amy, I love it. Like, don't do it, but I love it. I'm gonna open a store and take out all the magicians from the decks because I don't want people to have that energy. Only I am allowed to manifest. Love it.
Well, Amy, you better get into the Patreon if you want to learn how to manifest, honey, because that's the lesson I'm teaching for a while there. It's a long lesson.
Oh, true.
Yes.
Oh. Oh yeah, I love the Louis Royo deck. I got the hubby as a gift years ago. Good luck finding it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Joe, not really the same thing, but Magic the Gathering cards? No, I don't. I really don't.
He's
I'm
not
the
that
worst. I'm the worst nerd ever. I'm a wonderful geek, horrible nerd.
The decks that are over there in the cabinet, honey, that I tell you don't touch.
Okay. These are not the cards you're looking for. I saw where someone took a Black Lotus and turned it into a game token, and I had an anxiety attack. I got the feeling, I think I saw that earlier today, and I was like, I get the feeling that's real important. Like, ooh. Okay, Aeson, you've riled up all the tarot readers.
Well, that's because us tarot readers have to protect our image. We have to protect our ability to read. We have to protect our industry. We have to be the ones governing our industry because you're sure the hell the zombies we got in DC ain't going to do it.
Oh yeah, it's worth a lot of money apparently. The Black Lotus card. Yeah, I was getting that feeling. It's like, yeah, it's yeah.
It's like readers that you guys see me bring on Coffee and Tea. I vet their asses. They got to know their shit. I don't put up with scam artists, and this woman's a scam artist. All right.
Holy shit! On that Black Lotus card, I sold 3 of them in my early 20s and paid off about $45,000 of student loan debt.
Uh-huh.
Fuck! That's all I've got for that.
My Angel Messenger deck, the one that lives in the box, do you know how much it's worth?
No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me these things. I will.
Let's just say we need to call Rebecca on it.
Do we need to call J.G. Wentworth?
No, we need to call Rebecca. Because it's a signed deck.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we need to call Rebecca on that one if we wanted to.
And this is in the room you regularly almost set on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, don't touch it, Joe. But he's allowed to damn near set the room on fire. Okay, got it.
Hey, it cleared out the house that night, I'm telling you.
Oh, Tracy says I use my out-of-print deck daily. Lol.
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right, guys. So I'm just going to give you guys a little peep show on my YouTube channel this month. You're going to see me review the Black Deck Tarot. Love this deck. We're actually going to use this tonight if anyone gets any questions. Just because, guess what? I'm learning it. It's learning me. We're getting our energies vibing. All right, and then where did I put the other one at? I think I already put it away because I'm figuring out what I want to use for it. But Joe's got some typing to do.
Oh, I have typing to do.
This is the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle deck. Lisa was on our show a couple weeks ago. You guys will see a review of this deck, and you may see me finding it and using it in some fashion.
That's a huge freaking deck. Or is it all book and little cards?
No, it's standard Oracle size.
Okay.
Yeah, it's standard Oracle size.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Why do Oracles have to hit everyone with a damn index card?
Because they're Oracle cards. You're supposed to be able to easily tell they are.
Okay.
All right.
Here's your sign.
Exactly.
That's where they're at.
Ooh, Ashley asked the question. Let me get these open and warmed up. We will take a sip. We will do a few readings, and we're going to take a sip, and my blood pressure is going to rise a few more degrees.
Oh, no. Yes, Marvin, we need a date of birth and a question.
Yes,
remember that year.
We'll gladly do them. Now, we're using the black tarot deck, which is gorgeous, guys. And yes, there will be discount codes going out. If you want this deck, tarot readers, I'm telling you, this is one of the ones you want to get, and you want to get 2. 1 to use and 1 put up.
Oh, for you Magic the Gathering folk, you should be used to this. Buy a deck, use a deck.
Well, there's a few decks out there that come along, and it's like, ooh, I must own. Ooh, this is going to be a limited copy print.
Fair enough, fair enough. Oh, like I'm trying to forget you paid off $45K in student loans. Okay, like
With
I'm just
3
gonna have
cards.
to. Yeah, like I have to ignore you right now. I'm sorry. Like love and hugs. But yeah, I'm sure. Very upset with you. Yeah, I can understand.
All right, let's rock.
All right, Ashley. Hold on, I'm just going to start. Ashley, 82696, is the Leo who left my life a few months ago gone for good? I'm hoping so.
All right, first up out of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. So apparently you sacrificed something. The Seven of Swords here says, be watchful, something is getting ready to get stolen from it. And then we have the Two of Wands. Two of Swords. Meaning you're not wanting to deal with emotions there. The question is he coming back? Definitely. But the question is, do you want to deal with him? Probably not. So you can ship him on down the road.
All right, we got 2 more questions.
Awesome.
All right, Marvin 51894. Will I get closer to my goddess on the next level?
Oh.
Oh, I'm going to love that comment when I read it. I just got the first sentence of it.
Well. Speak of him and he shows up. First up, we have the Devil. This means that you're trying to interlink and you've got to deal with your own bonds, your own shackles that you've trapped yourself in, your shadow side.
This deck has been marked safe from Moon.
Then we have Temperance. Temperance reminds you that you have to keep balance between your path to seek the goddess and the path of the earth. Together, those will trap you, and there's a constant balancing act. Finding enough time to meditate, enough time to work altars, enough time to do a job, enough time to have family. Then we have the Two of Cups, a magical soulmate bonding. Of course, you're going to get closer to your goddess because you're going to walk with her because the goddess walks with you.
Alrighty. Then we have another one. Ready for it?
Yep.
All right, Amy, 122686. I don't know how to phrase this as a question. Help with that, please. I want to tell, not ask, my boss that it's time for me to have a raise. How will that go? Or should I do that now?
Ooh, interesting. All right, first up, we have the Two of Spears. This is the Two of Pentacles. You're balancing bills and money. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. Then we have the King of Cups here. You need to be the diplomat with this. When I say be the diplomat, you don't tell him you need a raise. You tell him your struggles. I'm putting in 80 hours a week. Do you have any overtime? I need a little extra money. You know, if I find another chair, I'm going to have to take that chair. That type of thing. And then we have the Eight of Wands here, which reminds you to take a balanced path. So you're going to have to be balanced. You're going to have to be comfortable. You're going to have to be relaxed with it. You're going to have to take it step by step.
All right. And next up is Tracy. 92272. Should I go on the trip to Lilydale in July? I'm on the fence about it.
All right, non-psychic information. Hell fucking yes, honey. Do you need help packing your bags and getting your water ready?
Okay, but now use the cards.
Now I'm going to use the cards.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay. This deck gets ugly. Here we go. We have the Seven of Swords here. As you see, something's being hidden from you. What is not really being looked at here? Then we have the Death card. It's time for some damn changes, girl. Then we have the Three of Cups. Celebrate, celebrate. To be quite honest, yes, go to Lilydale. Take notebooks, take pencils, take plenty of water, good shoes, and nice outfits because you need to work it, baby.
Oh, yeah. So Ashley said while Aeson is doing the reading, where's that wild witch from? Johnstontown, Pennsylvania, I do believe it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Her shop is... See, she's running a dual shop here. She has one name and then she uses another. Again, and something I subtly question.
Moon River Sunbeam Marshmallow Ass.com. I don't know.
Give me a minute. I will have it up for it. I will put it in all. I'll put it in all chats. I will do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Albert. Oh, well, while you're getting that, so the rest of this card story from about student loans, I went from about 80,000 and paid off over 50 with cards I sold because my mom told me if I paid it under 20, she'd take care of the rest. She thought she'd have 10, 20 years before she had to worry about it. Between the cards and my 3 jobs right out of school, good job there, I paid it down to under 20. She was pissed. And then my brother found out I sold those cards and was mad I didn't give them to him for free. Oh, see, what? No, sorry. I would understand, if you're the rest of your deck, if it was all 20-cent cards or whatever. Yeah, give those to him. But you got 3 cards worth 15 grand a pop? Fuck no, you don't get those. Shit.
All right, I'm placing this in the chats. This is who the first story was about. And again, do not buy, do not shop. To put it really bluntly honest, let's see the scam artists go out of business.
Magic the Gathering cards, Ashley. 3 cards worth $15,000 a piece. Knocked her with some what were the other ones? Pokemon cards. That together knocked her 50 some thousand off her student loans in value for the cards.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Albert, we need a date of birth.
Okay. And Tracy points out, so he can sell them? What did he not cool.
Right.
So yeah, Ashley points out Western PA not very familiar. I don't think anyone should be. Can I just say that the things a lot of what we've seen come out of the witchy side of Pennsylvania needs a house dropped on it. Can I just say that? Is that
I debate that, and here's why. Powwow, kick ass, awesome system, teaches it.
No, I'm cool with that. I'm not saying that. I mean, some of the people and the bullshit. Every time it's becoming the Florida man of the North.
It is.
It's like Pennsylvania witch did some dumbass.
Right.
Needs a house. Ooh, they got a mental hospital dropped on it. Oh, I love it.
All right, Albert, I need a year, honey. Not just a date and a month. We need the full year. We got to make sure you're 18 to keep the lawyers happy.
I know. No
one
wants to drop the year. Unless you're telling us either 06, which I don't think works. Hold on. Nope, that wouldn't work. My college degree can't buy cigarettes a few years ago.
Thank you.
Or in a yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Albert 7685. Hey, any insight into my out of body states?
Let's take a look. What's the Black Tarot got to say about this?
Now, if that Eight of Swords comes up again.
Oh, the Eight of Swords didn't come up again.
Okay.
We actually went 4 cards this time.
Woo!
All right, so let's talk about your out-of-body states. First up, we have the Ten of Swords here. This is when you feel like you have to give up, you have to expand, you have to move away, you can't go on. Then we have the Eight of Cups coming up here. This feels like you're walking away from things. So apparently you hit out of body when you're hitting your thiever, when you're hitting that point where you think something can't work. Then we have the Two of Spears here. You got to work on your balance. You can't be robbing your daylight and your dreams by trying to keep care of your spiritual side. Then we have the Six of Wands here, which means you've got to work on your strength. You got to work on your mental fortitude. All right, so when you're having out-of-body experiences, that tells me you aren't journaling. That tells me that you are letting stress get to you too much, and your spirit is going, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. Kind of like when a car breaks down, you hop out of it immediately, open up the hood, like you can do anything about it. Same thing your spirit's doing here. So, 1, we got to get our stress under control. 2, you got to get a balance in your sleep patterns because they're all over the fucking place. And 3, you got to realize that that's a sign, that's like your check engine light coming on, that you aren't taking care of yourself.
Alrighty. Can one of the cards up to the camera, though, I want to see real quick. Like, I'm thinking this is like the perfect deck for like showing. It is. It's like the perfect deck to show on camera.
It is. These
like,
are
it's
gorgeous.
so clear.
Yeah. No, and this is what I call an advanced tarot deck. This is not a tarot deck for the fluffy bunny. This is not a tarot deck for the new reader. This is not a tarot deck for... This is an advanced deck. We'll say that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but it works so good on camera. Damn.
It works great on camera. The card stock's fucking amazing. Like, it's kicking it. The deck is same number of cards. The deck is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards higher than my professional deck that I use every day.
Nice.
In its card stock. They've done a good job with this deck, but you guys will have to watch the review next week on Wednesday to see what else I have to say about it. All right, so moving right the fuck along tonight on this train of hell. The Supreme Court got a really leaked document, and now they've launched an investigation.
Oh, no. Oh... So, yeah, let me clear the, like, please buy our paper. Oh, good Lord. So, John Roberts calls release of draft Roe v. Wade reversal a singular and egregious breach of trust and orders an investigation. Chief Justice John Roberts says the Supreme Court will investigate the release of a draft opinion that would strike down Roe v. Wade and called the episode a singular and egregious breach of trust. This was a... Good Lord, how many times they have to use it. This was a singular and egregious breach of trust that is an affront to the court and the community of public servants who work here. I have directed the marshal of the court to launch an investigation into the source of the leak, Roberts said in a statement Tuesday. To the extent this betrayal of the confidences of the court was intended to undermine the integrity of our operations, it will not succeed, Roberts said. The work of the court will not be affected in any way. We at the court are blessed to have a workforce, permanent employees and law clerks alike, intensely loyal to the institution and dedicated to the rule of law. Court employees have an exemplary and important tradition of respecting the confidentiality of the judicial process and upholding the trust of the court. The court's public affairs office confirmed the document published by Politico is authentic. but stressed that it does not represent a decision by the court or the final position of any member on the issues in this case. According to the draft authored by Justice Samuel Alito, the court would overturn Roe v. Wade's holding of a federal constitutional right to an abortion. It appears that 5 justices would be voting to overturn Roe. Roberts did not want to completely overturn Roe v. Wade, meaning he would have dissented from part of Alito's draft opinion, sources tell CNN, likely with the court's 3 liberals. That would mean that the 5 conservative justices that would make up the majority overturning Roe are Alito and Justices Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. The court did not comment on the potential breakdown of how justices would vote. Roberts did not respond to questions from CNN at his house Tuesday morning. Oh, it's unclear how extensive or fruitful the in-house investigation will be or how much experience court employees have in finding the source of a leak. The Marshal of the Supreme Court oversees about 260 employees, including the court's police department, which has the power to arrest people on the grounds of the court. The current marshal is Colonel Gail A. Curley, who began serving as the court's 11th marshal in 2021. Typically, the people with access to such a document would be the 9 justices and the people working in their chambers, including their clerks and staff, nearly 50 people in all. As for not inviting the FBI or an outside agency, Roberts has long guarded the independence of the third branch of government, keeping the legislative and executive branches out of the court's affairs.
Well, 1, he's already set to retire. He needs to retire. 2, we told you this. I told you this. When we let the fake president appoint 2 ill-serving justices, one of them a confirmed rapist, to this court. 3, this is the people's court. That everything should be on record and videotaped and showed to the people. 4, once they go, I'm so tired of them going after the women's right to do what they need to do with their body. It's their choice. Secondly, once they go after this, you can expect all the other shit to go on. Okay? They're going to come after gay rights. They're going to come after interracial dating. They're going to come after every goddamn thing else. We need to, 1, expand the court. 2, it should not be a lifetime appointment. 4 years like the rest of the departments, including Congress and Senate. We need to get those dinosaurs out of Washington and get them up here.
I just still don't like. What did I miss? Like, is there a case currently involved?
There are multiple cases that the Republican right-wing evangelicals have stacked up. The case of Texas, the case of Ohio, all of them.
So, yeah.
So I hope our new justice will be taking the stand very soon. I hope Roberts gets the hell out of our office because he's a damn dinosaur with dementia. Colin Powell, the other one, has already been reported as being a QAnon ally. Arrest him and his wife.
Oh, also, I think that against the topic, it would be better to have wording to have one way or the other for the Supreme Court to stand on, because liberty is iffy.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So Mississippi is our malfunctioning state.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. We just go through this over and over and over and over and over again, and it becomes a while before it's like, yeah, right. Like that's ever going to happen. Oh, no. Look.
It's going to happen. This is why Supreme Court nominations are so important. This is why when Kavanaugh was appointed to the damn court, everyone in their right mind had no thought that he should be a Supreme Court justice. Clarence Thomas should not be a Supreme Court justice. He has already should have ethics charges against him. He included his wife. You can't tell me, as close as them two are, did not know that the insurrection was going to happen. It has been revealed in text messages. It's already been shown. Arrest them.
Yeah. I just.
So, everyone within my voice in the United States should be calling your senators, your representatives, and demanding two things. One, a guarantee of Roe v. Wade law. Two, to break the filibuster so that Republicans can't stand up for fucking 10 days and vote it down. Democrats, while you're in office, you need to be doing some fucking work, or you need a pink slip. Told you guys my blood pressure was up, and tonight you'd need headphones.
Well, here's my whole thing. I'm not encouraging anyone to get an abortion. I don't have a horse in the race, okay? But here's my thing. The legal nature of abortion does not encourage anyone to get an abortion. Various life situations and decisions that people make regarding a pregnancy cause abortions. Usually, with the help of a doctor and the wise decision making surrounding that pregnancy and what's going on there, that I need no part of. I don't need to be for it. I don't need to be against it, really. I should have no say in it. I'm never going to have one. You figure out how to get me into stirrups and give me an abortion. I will probably make a lot of money off of that. Because fundamentally I can't have one. But it just blows my mind that we have people that think that what this does, and it's the most bass-backward decision, like logic, is that not only does the legal access to abortion cause abortion, but it also causes promiscuity. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Like, I don't know, a few, depending upon your interpretation of how old the world is, but let's go with a few thousand years of human evolution makes sex a wonderful thing that people want to do. And unfortunately, in some circumstances, pregnancy results from that. And like abortion is not making anyone's legs spread. Like let's just say it that way, so we can all get on the same page. Nowhere is anyone getting hot and horny for abortion.
Right. But I'm going to say this. If this comes out and it is passed, there will be a lesson added to my witch classes that was took out back in the 60s. I promise you that.
Yeah, and the biggest problem is, we're talking about safe legal access to safe legal abortion. Abortions always exist, like we're saying. The biggest problems you can face in any country towards, health and fertility for women is when abortion is illegal.
Exactly.
Like, how many centuries of this bullshit did you need to still not get the idea that, like, even in discussions in class about herbs, you don't talk about abortifactants in a way that says, don't waste that money going to Planned Parenthood. You go, these are the drugs you don't want to take if you're pregnant and you really don't want to try using. Ever, 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 seriously don't do it. If you're trying to end a pregnancy, please see a doctor. Like, this is not the best way to do this.
Right.
But
Th-
again, this is how we end up there.
This is how we end up. This is why the witches, and by the way, this is part of our religion, because, yeah, guess what? The high priestesses at the temples in Rome, one of their first jobs, one of the most public, most able to concrete act of a witch in Rome was to provide abortions to the temple hoes.
Yeah. Like, again, like, in a different time, this was as close as one could get to ending a pregnancy safely.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible way to do it.
Right.
Like, you, like, literally, if you're like, this is why we're saying do not use herbs. Not that there aren't even more dangerous ways. Back alleys, doctors
tossing someone down the steps.
Like,
this is what we're facing. This is what we're facing for the women. This is the healthcare they're facing. This is the same thing as demanding a cancer patient continue chemo. That's what they're ordering. That is what they're ordering. If a patient has made the decision to discontinue chemo, the insurance company, to cover the medical bills of hospice, requiring them to continue chemo, or the insurance company deciding which medication you can take. That's what they're deciding. What quality skills can they provide you for medical care?
I don't know. Like, never in history has making abortion illegal stopped abortion. All it has done is caused, like, death, pain, infertility, and undue hardship. Because here's the thing, if you missed it in, like, that, I believe it was the Black Dahlia thing. Like, what was it, $1,000 back in the 50s?
Yeah.
For an abortion. Like $600, $1,000. Keep in mind that, like, that's probably in about the same realm today. I don't know. It's not numbers I need in my life. Probably about the same cost today, but you've got to realize back then that would buy a car. That's how much a doctor, at least a decent trained medical professional who had a hope of knowing what the fuck he was doing,
right,
would have charged.
$11,929.63 in today's money.
Yeah.
And that's not medically secured. That's not the nice, sweet, easy, as if this process is easy. The safe method of doing this. This is your barber pouring teeth. That's where they're trying to take back women's rights to.
Yeah.
When you went to Amy to have your teeth pulled.
Like, Amy's good at many, many things. We're not throwing off on Amy, but I think she'll agree dentistry is not at the top of her skill set.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy. So Amy says the deep dive video I watched really addressed what I believe to be the issue is the wording about the Roe v. Wade and KCV Planned Parenthood, and that's why the Supreme Court is overturning those cases. So I think that follows along to what I was reading here, that it has a lot to do with the assumption that somewhere in the Constitution guarantees the right, but it wasn't important in the case to actually define where. If I remember right.
I believe it's within the first few lines. The pursuit of life and happiness. Liberty and happiness.
But fundamentally, that the case itself did not, or the ruling itself, did not point to a specific point in the Constitution and pull it out and say, which I mean, okay, fine. That's where you want to go with that. Like, all right, so the law is problem, or so that the original decision is problematic. To throw it out entirely because it's problematic,
Mm-hmm.
and like, no,
Again, they're going to do this with everything if we don't get this court changed quickly. And if
yeah,
we do not make our Congress, which was the hope of the Roe v. Wade
okay,
order, was for the Congress to act.
all right.
Okay?
So, yeah, what Ashley's pointing out is liberty can be loose federally, though, as in the definition of liberty.
Exactly.
And there are whole documents that actually that it's like it's the government's own
Mm-hmm.
dictionary
Mm-hmm.
of what different terms mean. And again, I can understand that. I like mentally, I don't have a problem with that level of the argument, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a problematic ruling and it needs a better definition and it needs to be more clearly stated. You're using the fact that it's a problematic ruling
Mm-hmm.
that is not engraved in stone in terms of clearly spelling out exactly every single thing that says this. When the ruling was made, this is the spirit of the law and how we see it as a Supreme Court is that the spirit of the law says,
Mm-hmm.
and by that,
Right. So they're
um,
splitting hairs and finding loopholes. Great. Real good, you conservative assholes. Get off the bench. You're fired.
Amy says, hair only over here until you got hair on your teeth that need its roots done. Ha ha.
Point blank, that's my view. That's my view. With at least two of those justices. Another one needs to be impeached. He should have never been put on the bench. The other one did not follow constitutional reckoning. Needs to be put off the bench.
Well, I mean, if we want to split political hairs, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like
let's split
literally,
political hairs. Coney Barrel isn't qualified. Did not receive a full 6-month evaluation off the bench. The other ones have acts of treason off the bench.
Oh, wow. Brenda says that an old lady in our neighborhood told me about the back alley abortion she had. I never wish that on anyone.
They can get on the phone in the morning. Be calling DC, ringing the hell out of them. By the way, if you're in West Virginia, you need to know who you need to be calling. You need to be calling Useless Mansion, Silly Capito, and of course, our favorite Mooney, who can't do his job.
I really never thought this would be like something we would have to legitimately talk about again.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I really didn't. I know people want to argue it and I know people want to jump in and be like baby killer. And it's like, no. Or more importantly, if that's what you got to throw at me, then fine, go ahead. I don't care.
And if you don't know who to call, you go to house.gov/representatives. You can find who represents you by your zip code. Ring their phones off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is kind of a big deal for the Supreme Court. Ashley, it really is. This is the first time in history that a decision has been leaked before it was official.
I debate that.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's the Supreme Court's take on it. Is this has never happened before?
Ball. When gay marriage was legalized, there were rallies already there with celebrational materials. Every Supreme Court thing that I've seen in my lifetime, they were knowing that it was coming out and the decision was occurring. It is the second leak. There has been multiple leaks from this office. And there should be multiple leaks because there should be cameras in there. And you should be able to turn on CNN. If I can turn on CNN and listen to Rattle Trap out of Kentucky, his lard ass that needs to be, I don't know, put in a grave, sitting in a retirement home, then I should be able to sit there and watch the Supreme Court.
Let me see, because I'm just again with the articles I've read.
It's the court of the people. That's the original statement of the court of the people. Are you representing the people? No, you're not representing the people. You're not even representing the white man that you were originally designed to represent, which were the rich, property-owning white men, which is what the Constitution was originally written for. What about the rest of them? What about the people that don't own land, that don't own property? What about the women, the African American, the any other race than white? And you want to debate the word liberty.
Okay, and apparently
Supreme Court justice.
Okay, so here's what the New York Post has is while Monday's abortion opinion leak appears to be the first time that a full draft document has emerged in the public realm without the court's approval, news of the original Roe v. Wade ruling was actually leaked. In 1972, then Justice William Douglas had written a memo to his colleagues about the Roe case that somehow ended up with the Washington Post. The outlet had included the memo in a report about the court's internal deliberations. Let's see. Then 7 months later, Time magazine reporter David Beckwith scooped the court by publishing the milestone Roe outcome and vote that legalized abortion nationwide just hours before the decision was made public. Then Chief Justice Warren Burger was reportedly so furious with the leak that he had demanded a meeting with Times editors so he could chastise them, according to Peters.
Hello, freedom of press, buddy.
Yeah. Well, Berger believed a law clerk was to blame and ordered them all to not speak to reporters from then on. That move resulted in the so-called 20-second rule, where any clerk who was busted speaking to a reporter would be fired within that time frame. Damn.
Again, freedom of the press. Roberts, you've already made notice that you're resigning. Your replacement is in place. Leave your bench seat.
Yeah.
The rest of them, charge them. Your midterm elections are up. Early voting's going on in many states, including West Virginia. Get out and vote, but first, go check your politicians. Know what they talk about.
Okay, more recently, a group of law clerks in 2004 leaked details of secret deliberations in the Bush v. Gore case to Vanity Fair. 2012, CBS correspondent Jan Crawford broke news that Chief Justice John Roberts had initially sided with conservative justices to strike down President Obama's Affordable Care Act before switching to form an alliance. So it's looking like there's been multiple instances in which the parts of the deliberations, like what was the gist of it, this has frequently occurred, but the actual here's the document in draft form.
I'm highlighting this one. If they can broadcast the Johnny Depp case, which is a really interesting case, they should be able to broadcast. They should be broadcast in the Supreme Court. It's actually more important, not just entertainment. Although the Johnny Depp case is exposing domestic violence to men.
Oh, have a great time, Amy.
Good night, Amy. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's go into our standard segments tonight.
Yay!
Yay! What do we have from the Reddit files?
All right, so let me just get there. All right, am I the asshole for telling my son that I would not stop inviting his ex to family functions? My son, 44 male, divorced his wife, 43 female, after having an affair with a much younger woman, I think 23 female. He and his ex have 2 kids, 12 and 6. And his ex has almost full custody of them. He gets them 1 weekend per month. He just got engaged to the woman he had an affair with and told me I'm not allowed to invite his ex to family functions anymore because his fiance is uncomfortable being around her. I told him no, and now he's angry with me. My reasoning is she has custody of their children the vast majority of the time, and I want to be able to see my grandchildren frequently and not only once a month. She has basically been my daughter for 20 years, and it's not like their divorce is going to change the way I feel about her. And she is actually closer to most of the family than he is, since she was always the one who kept us up to date about the kids, scheduled family outings with us, and even spent more time with us than he did. Also, her family lives in another country, and we have been her family for decades. I'm not going to take that away from her because my son decided to leave her. However, I recognize that I'm still really angry and hurt about my son's actions towards his ex-wife and kids, so maybe I'm acting out of anger. Am I the asshole for refusing to exclude his ex from our family functions?
Not the asshole.
I don't think you're the asshole. I think it's a really crappy situation. I think that the son in all this needs to figure out very quickly how to get the fuck along with his ex. More importantly, to get the 23-year-old fiance to understand the importance of this. Like, as in, these kids have a really awesome opportunity to not just be like relegated to like these divorce, broken family dynamic, back and forth fighty stupid things, and instead actually have a more normal experience of family functions and not have to worry about whose turn it is with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think, dude, stop and think about it.
Yeah. He's getting them 1 weekend a month. I'm sure that's the minimum that you could request to even be considered.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You are not the asshole for continuing the relationship with a 20-year member of your family and your grandkids. End of story.
And there's a lot of issues there with divorces and the fact that, you know, I don't want to ever say someone has to be trapped in a marriage that is horrible for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this marriage wasn't horrible for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the 23-year-old helps, but not saying that the marriage wasn't bad for each of them.
Right.
But you're out of that now. But you have to get kids together. You still have to be able to co-parent, and part of that involves your parents, her parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. Like, you got to make it work.
Right.
You can't just throw people away and be done with it.
Exactly. It's bullshit. All right. So on to relationship advice.
All right. Ready to take it away?
You can take it away. This is small print.
Should I contact the other woman? My husband started talking to one of his coworkers way more than what was appropriate. At first, it was just ranting about coworkers. He told me how she started talking to him about how unhappy and lonely she was, and he tried to commiserate when he was feeling very frustrated with our marriage. Over the course of a few weeks, they talked for hours every day and sent hundreds of text messages. When I read through them, it was clearly an emotional affair, and they were in the getting to know you dating stage. I set very clear boundaries and told him I did not feel comfortable and asked if he wanted to separate or divorce. He told me he would end things because he did not mean to hurt me and knows he really should have been talking to a marriage counselor or therapist instead. He and I crafted a very clear message to the woman explaining that he was sorry if he gave her the wrong impression, but he wanted to step back from any and all communication with her so he can focus on our marriage and rebuilding trust with me. Fast forward a week later, and this woman has continued to message him at work saying what he has done is not fair, that he should be able to stay friends with her, and that she doesn't think small conversations every now and then are bad as long as they stay professional. She is very upset that he abruptly cut off all communication. He already apologized to her for giving her the wrong impression, and I told him he does not need to continue apologizing or feel bad that she is hurt. She knew he was married. She lives across the country, and this whole thing with them only happened over the course of a month. In one of her messages, she told him to apologize to me on her behalf because she didn't mean to hurt me. I think she is lonely and desperate and needs to get a hobby or go out and meet some people who aren't married. My husband doesn't want to keep telling her that she needs to stop because he feels like if he just ignores her, she will eventually go away. I find her reaction a bit concerning. Is it appropriate for me to message her that she needs to stop? My husband is fine with me doing that, but not sure if it is the best thing to do. And if it is, I'm not sure what exactly I should say.
Best thing for you to do is tell your husband to go to resignation.
Well, I don't know that he necessarily needs to quit the job, but I think he's going to have to take that to HR and treat it like any unwanted attention situation. Because that's what it is at this point.
Right.
Whether, it was just a bunch of exchanged messages, like it don't fuck around the office. Like, that's a general good rule. Like, this is what pays your bills. Don't screw around with the people that you work with. Whether it's just through text or whatever, not a good life plan, because in this situation, I think she liked what they had and wanted more. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, he doesn't now. I have multiple problems here.
Well, regardless, I think it's a point of you have to go to HR, file a complaint. And it doesn't have to be a she gets fired as much as she gets the message, your job or going after him.
Right.
And he's telling you right now that's not an option.
Well,
please choose your job.
Right. First of all, here's my problems. One, the wife shouldn't have been reading text messages nor caring who he talks to. He is not your indentured servant.
Yeah. I've got some issues up there as well.
Okay.
Like,
2, who are you to tell him who he can be friends with? You're his wife, not his owner. 3, he shouldn't have to apologize for having friends to you. 4, it's not to get to know you stage in dating, it's to get to know you stage in friendship. 5, now your husband has done this, he needs to resign from his position immediately. Hope you make enough money to support him, because apparently he can't have adult conversations. 6, you are an asshole. And yeah, you should not contact her, because it's a professional connection. It is not your responsibility to talk to him. Joe doesn't talk to Keen. Joe doesn't talk to my clients unless they call in and he answers the business phone. It is unresponsible, unprofessional to do so.
I've literally never talked to a client. Oh, well, on network.
Right.
Like, I never, ever have I ever answered one of those.
Exactly.
Now, as far as, like, I've never pretended to be you or really gotten involved with your clients all that much, other than I can schedule an appointment, I think.
Yeah.
Like, one moment, let me test this button, see what happens.
Yeah. Furthermore, the wife needs to find some friends. Point blank.
Like, I was just focusing on the end part, is that, like, if, like, I'm going with the first part of it has already occurred.
Right.
If you're really just looking to stop the interaction, then yeah, it's moved to the point where she's not getting it.
Yeah.
Like, now if the husband wants to continue this, I mean, it sounds like they have a bigger marital issue. She has already jumped to the, like, we're not going to talk about it. You can do a divorce or a separation, pick one. That seems a little knee jerky.
That seems a little like she already wants out of this marriage and she's looking for a reason. She's needing permission for a divorce.
Yeah.
Here's your permission. Go sign your divorce papers because you don't have a husband that you actually love and trust. And if you don't have that, then you don't have a marriage.
This is true. Well, and I don't know. There are some different parts of this that bother me. Like, I mean, I think everyone's entitled to, like, I know there's this whole big conversation about emotional cheating.
Right.
I know that is a hot topic issue for some people. I don't get it.
Right.
Like, explain, I just need someone to explain emotional cheating to me.
Right.
Like, I understand it by definition, but I just don't get why anyone cares.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just kind of, like, flirty and, like, you make some inappropriate comments to each other, I don't care. Like, and especially she's on the other side of the country. Why do you care?
Yeah.
Like, well, what is it you think? Like, where's your problem? Where's your problem? Like, now I understand there's like a pointing indicator towards a future problem. As in, okay, but what happens if she moves to the city, or what happens if they get to a conference, or what happens? Okay, that's another set of choices. Like, that's a whole other set of choices.
No.
Like, that's choosing to make, like, an online thing an in-person thing. Way, 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 way different. But at least, I don't know.
Right.
Like, she's going, I caught you with your pants down in the back of a back of the car with someone else over text, and, like,
again, it's bullshit. She's looking for a reason to either control her man or ruin his career.
Oh, yeah. That's, again, the best you can do with that is go to HR and go, look, this went too far. Don't get involved. Like, for the love of God, do not set your own self in that.
Yeah, because HR is going to look at all the text messages.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, Brenda, is if someone is going to cheat or leave, they will. I can't stop you, but yeah, don't lie to me, be truthful. I go one step further, is I don't have time. I seriously don't have time. Nor the interest level. I mean, maybe, like, I'm broken. Maybe I'm defective. But, like, I don't want to read through it.
Right.
Like, why do people get obsessed with reading through it?
Right.
Like, I'm just like, granted, my jealousy level is like, I have, like, negative jealousy.
Right.
Like, I don't really. I don't get it.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Anyhow, other advice on that one?
Other advice on this one? Write your husband's resignation while you're getting into divorce papers because you're going to ruin his career with this behavior. So let's move on to a little bit more interesting story. Down
All
in our
right.
lovely state of Alabama.
Well, no, it was Mississippi that fucked up, Roe v. Wade.
Still, we got Alabama. Alabama's got to top this shit. Alabama boss Vicky White had a special relationship with missing inmate, cops say.
Oh, the Alabama jail boss who allegedly absconded with a capital murder suspect had a, quote, special relationship with the inmate, police said Tuesday. Vicky White, the assistant director of corrections for Lauderdale County, had gotten cozy with inmate Casey Cole White during her shifts at the rural jail, and at some point developed the so-called special relationship, the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office said. Investigators received information from inmates at the Lauderdale County Detention Center over the weekend that there was a special relationship between Director White and inmate Casey White, the agency said. That relationship has now been confirmed through our investigation by independent sources and means. The sheriff's office declined to expound on what it meant by special relationship, but on Monday it announced a warrant for Vicky White's arrest for permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. We know she participated, whether she did that willingly or if she was coerced, threatened somehow to participate in the case. Not really sure. We know for sure she did participate, Sheriff Rick Singleton said at a press conference. On Friday morning, Vicky White told staff she was taking the detainee to a mental health evaluation at the county courthouse and wasn't questioned about it because her primary duty was to transport inmates, Singleton said. When cops realized they were missing, they discovered there was no such appointment at the courthouse, and the pair made no effort to go to the building, instead ditching their car at a nearby shopping center parking lot and disappearing. The saga is reminiscent of David Sweat and Richard Matt's 2015 escape from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Demora, New York, after the men got romantically involved with prison employee Joyce Tilly Mitchell and convinced her to help them escape. The U.S. Marshal Service has offered a $10,000 reward for any information that leads to Casey White's capture. We consider both of them dangerous, and in all probability, both of them are armed, U.S. Marshal Marty Keeley said at the press conference.
All right, so I'm going to flash images.
Yes. So the inmate was charged with 2 counts of capital murder in September 2020 after he allegedly stabbed Connie Ridgway, 58, to death. He'd already been serving a 75-year sentence for a 2015 crime spree in which he shot a person and a dog and held another 5 people at gunpoint. Right. WBRC reported. Singleton told CNN that Vicky White was a model employee and her coworkers are devastated by her alleged betrayal. Quote, I guess we're going to hold on to that last straw of hope that maybe for some reason she was threatened and did this under coercion. But absolutely, you'd feel betrayed, end quote, Singleton told the outlet.
All right, guys, here is the lover. Keep your eye out for him. It's $10,000. Sandy brown hair, shaggy goatee. And of course, let's go and check out this assistant. He will probably be in the company of Vicky White.
Yes, the accomplice.
The accomplice. Most likely, she'll be driving. Because men like that can't drive. Again, $10,000 out by the marshals. We need them caught. Preferably tarred and feathered, but we'll go with caught for right now.
It sounds like again, I see why they're holding on to hope. Because you'd like to think that, this isn't some regular guard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This isn't just, some newbie who just doesn't get it.
Right.
I mean, you would have think she would have had adequate training
Mm-hmm.
to understand all the possible manipulations. Because that's all it is.
Right.
Like, you are a tool for him to use to get out of prison.
Right.
Like, you are blowing up your entire career
Right.
for a pack of lies. Whatever he said, I mean, again, unless it's some horrible coercion.
Right.
Oh. Goodness. Brenda says, ooh, there's a man I want to get to know. What the fuck was she thinking?
Exactly.
I mean,
so guys, keep your eyes out for them. This was, of course, in Alabama. That is only a few hours away from West Virginia, and I know that we've got listeners all across the world. So you guys be paying attention for this. And do not approach them because they are armed and dangerous. All right, so I'm going to close out tonight's show with a statement from Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. Republican leadership in the states across this country are weaponizing the use of Roe v. Wade against women. The rights of all Americans are at risk. This is time to fight for women and our country with everything we have. That means phone calls, letters. Burn up those phone lines. We are already paying a phone bill. 2 of them, actually, one for the dumb offices in their state and the offices in D.C. Call them both. Let them know that they need to be doing their jobs to run this country.
mm-hmm.
Essentially and quickly.
Okay.
With that, I will be back Thursday night with Coffee and Tea with Tracy. She was in our comments earlier tonight. We'll be having our first show, and believe me, I'm sure she's going to have something to say because she is in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be definitely talking about other things because, you know, coffee and tea means we're spilling a little spice, and I'm very rarely nice.
Well, there you go.
Yes. And Joe will be back on Friday night with Mountain Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
If you
will.
want to learn more about me, you can type in Aeson Knight on Google anywhere, and you can find me. Now, why don't you tell us about our lovely Patreons who support this show and my bad mouth tonight?
Oh, yeah, really. So we do want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, and Dottie the Psychic. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become one of our Patreons and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
Yes. And baristas, you have a video up, and you'll be having another one up here very soon as baristas get early.
Shannon's like, I got Joe to cuss a couple times. Woo!
Yeah, that is our thing to celebrate. All right, guys. Take care. Be safe. Don't forget to call your congressman. Ring those phones. Let them know that they need to act after, 60 fucking years.
There's that.
Other than that, good night, y'all.
Good night.
Stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop.